As teachers, we know that family involvement is crucial to a student's success. But sometimes building those family relationships can feel overwhelming. Let's talk about how we can work with our families to help support our students. If you're new here, I'm Rachel Vincent, and I love sharing ways to help teachers simplify their classrooms and their teaching. This first one is not new to anybody who's ever been a teacher, but sometimes it's hard to figure out how to do it. And that is to start with that positive communication as soon as you can. Oftentimes, the first time we meet families and communicate with them is meet the teacher night or back to school night. And so, of course, you want to make sure that you are prepared and ready for that. But that is not the positive communication I'm talking about here. This will be either that first or second week of school. An easy way to start is to do a welcome letter or email. Obviously, this would probably go out to your entire class, but after you send that first email welcome letter, you want to then start to individually reach out. So whether it's through email or a phone call, reaching out to them individually, just saying, hi, wanted to check in, make sure that the transition back to school is going well. Do you have any concerns for me? I've noticed such wonderful things about your child. Real quick, it can honestly be the same email or phone call to every parent because you're just trying to check in and let them know, hey, I see you. I want to make sure that you know that the communication between us is open. It lets families know that you're approachable and invested in their child from the very beginning. And I know that the beginning of the year is super, super busy, but doing this within the first week is really ideal because those behaviors sometimes will start to creep up, and you want to make sure that you've made that contact sooner than later. And so sometimes you even know within the first 2 days of school which kids might struggle with behavior. So you may want to go ahead and contact them first, even if they're not first on your list alphabetically. Get those high touch kids first so that you can knock that off so that when it is time to contact about a behavior issue, you've already made that positive contact. After you've made that positive contact, it is important to be consistent and transparent in all communication moving forward. I live by the philosophy of over communicating is better. And so I send out a weekly email every Monday. I've heard of teachers doing it later in the week, but Mondays work best for me. I call it my weekly update email. It's when I talk about any upcoming quizzes or tests, any important information, whether it's like a permission slip that needs to be returned, or we go to the library, please make sure all books are returned, whatever little snippets. I like to have upcoming dates for the month just to keep parents informed so there's no room for confusion. A lot of times it's the same information that I include in my newsletter that's posted on my class website, but parents don't always have time to go to the class website to look, so I'd rather just send it straight to their inbox. I'm not the best at this, and I probably should work harder at it because I know some parents only look at Class Dojo and not email, but I should probably also send it through Class Dojo as well. That's something that I think I'm going to try for next year. But being consistent and doing it regularly builds that sort of trust with families that, hey, the teacher knows what's going on and likes to make sure I know what's going on. It helps them to feel more connected with your classroom and the school community as a whole. We know that there are going to be times where we have to make the difficult phone call or email about a student who has not behaved the way they should. So the best thing to do is to address it calmly. If it's one of those situations where you are heated, take time before you call, or if it's an accusatory email that you got or message that you got from a parent, take time before you respond because we are human, and so our emotions sometimes get mixed up in it, and especially through an email, you can't always interpret tone, and so it may come across as a negative tone when that was not the intention. And so taking, whether you get it in the morning and you'll wait till the end of the day or the full 24 hours, at least as my school's policy, but when you do call or respond or email, the first thing to do is to acknowledge the parent's feelings and concerns. Thank you for sharing with me. I can see why that's frustrating. It validates their reasons for communicating with you, and typically will put them at ease as they continue to read or listen to the conversation. A rule of thumb is to always try to address the situation constructively, offer solutions, don't be accusatory, say this is just what I've noticed, I have seen this, What have you seen? Are you noticing these things at home as well? Try to make it very collaborative so it doesn't feel very one-sided. I have some phone scripts that I use to help me through some of this with sort of some like fill in the blanks, because a lot of times the conversations are similar year to year. Obviously, there's always these little tiny nuances that are different, but I'm going to include a link for those for you to grab to use as well, because sometimes just having it in front of me when I'm about to make the call just makes me feel a little better, even though I probably don't even reference it as much anymore, but it just makes me feel better going into it. Another thing that I really like to use is Magic School AI has a email response that will help you to, when you are feeling frustrated and maybe you've given that cool off period and you still are very frustrated about a situation, to kind of put in your actual feelings and then allow Magic School AI to make it a little more professional. Well, let's be honest, a lot more professional, and it works better, keeps everybody good to go. Make sure you also let parents know of whatever sort of policy you have as far as responding to them. Families know that I will respond within 24 hours. If it's 48 hours, whatever the case may be, I share that in my Meet the Teacher back to school information so that they know that if they email me at 3:30 and I've already left for the day, they're not going to hear back from me technically until 3:30 the next day, but usually the next morning. Just set those boundaries, let parents know up front so that they are aware that you will get back to them. It just may take a little bit of time. I would love to hear your experiences in building relationships with families. What challenges have you faced? What tips do you have? Drop a comment below so that we can all learn from each other. And if you would like some information on how I use my Thursday folders as a form of communication with parents, check out the video that's on your screen now.